Hey, what's going on, everybody? Welcome to Poetically Christian Gamer, and welcome to another edition of Should Christians Play? The series where we go between the ratings of the ESRB to answer the questions, should a Christian play? And is this game accessible for me? Hi guys, if you're new here, my name is Derek and I am a legally blind preacher and gamer. And today we're going to be reviewing Final Fantasy X Remaster. That's right guys, one of my absolute favorite Final Fantasy games in the entire series. Probably my favorite of all time. And you know how we do. We always review these games on two fronts. First, is the game physically accessible for someone that's low vision or blind, the deaf and the hard of hearing, and the motor disabled? And then we look at the other side of things. Is the game morally accessible for a Christian to be able to play? And that's what we're going to find out today. If you like this kind of thing, guys, we do new Christian reviews for accessibility as well. Every Thursday, we have a new Bible sermon on Thursdays. And of course, we do live streaming every Monday, Tuesday, and Friday, guys. If you like all things God and gaming, if you like all things for faith and fun, please thumbs up this video. Consider subscribing to Poetically Christian Gamer YouTube. You won't miss anything that we do. And if you're watching on Poetically Christian Gamer Twitch, you can hit the follow and be notified when we're live. And it's all free, guys. Alright, with that being said, let's jump into Final Fantasy X, guys. And let's jump in with the physical accessibility. And let's start with the low vision and blind, because that's the spectrum I come at things from. This game came out in 2001. It was originally released for your PlayStation 2. I was there. I had it. And this re-release or remaster came out in 2021, and it was available for the Xbox One, the PlayStation 4, and the PC at the time, guys. And I'm playing this through backwards compatibility on an Xbox Series X, and I'm not sure if you're able to do that on the PS5 or not, maybe. So let's jump in with the low vision and blind. What do we got here? Even though this is a 2021 remaster, re-release of Final Fantasy X, Final Fantasy X, we unfortunately don't have any menu narration for the low vision and the blind. For the low vision, what we do have, though, is we have nice sized menus on this main menu, light writing, dark background, so good contrast, and it's very readable. Unfortunately, once we get into the game, we revert back to what we had in 2001, where we kind of have this like blue aesthetic and white writing. Not the worst thing to be able to read, but it's definitely small in some places and can be very taxing on the eyes. For both the low vision and the blind, Final Fantasy X is one of the most linear Final Fantasy games ever made. So there's not a lot of going off path and searching around. You're pretty much directed from one point to the next. And we have what I kind of like to refer to the old Resident Evil style of graphics and gameplay. In Resident Evils, you kind of had the pre-rendered backgrounds, and when you would walk down or up, left or right, you reach the edge of the screen, it would do kind of a swipe motion, and you would go to the next pan or the next scene, pre-rendered scene. And Final Fantasy X plays a lot like that. You know, you have to run to the edges of the screen, whether it be up, down, left or right, and it'll pan to the next scene. So there's not a lot of going off course or exploration, worrying about getting lost if you're low vision blind. It's very linear, keeps you on the path. The problem we have is where you have to manage your inventory, your items in your shops, leveling up your character through the skill trees, things like that. It's going to require a lot of reading, and of course it's not read out to you through any narration or anything, unfortunately. So for someone that's completely blind, this is not impossible to play, but it is probably going to require some sighted assistance to play it well. Final Fantasy X was the very first Final Fantasy game to have voice-acted stories. So no more reading the text boxes or the dialogue boxes. We have complete voice-acted story, which is very awesome. You're able to just sit back and enjoy this, kind of like a movie or something like that. Very, very awesome. So that helps a lot for the low vision and the blind. Yeah, but if you do have some vision, if you're low vision, you do have some vision, it is not impossible to play. It's just more difficult than it needs to be, and it's something you're probably going to want to play in segments, as you know, kind of reading through all your items and your skill trees and all that kind of stuff gets taxing on the eyes after a while. But so the fact that it's linear brings it up some, and the fact that, you know, we have nice writing on these menus, that helps. The fact that we have it voice acted, so you don't have to read through all the dialogue like you do on older Final Fantasy games, brings it up as well. But unfortunately, without any menu narration in game or on the menus, it makes this rough for the completely blind, and it makes it rough even on the low vision as well. So I can't give this game more than a C-. I think it's a pretty fair grade for the accessibility for the low vision and blind. For the deaf and hard of hearing, you have what you need for the time and what's expected. As I said, it's completely voice acted, but as it's voice acted, we also have it completely subtitled out. One of the nice features as well is when you're in the midst of gameplay and battle and the characters are talking to each other, that's also subtitled out, as some games forget to do that. Once you get into the gameplay, they forget to subtitle out what the characters are saying to each other. This game does have that. Unfortunately, it doesn't have the sound effects or anything captioned out, so they can gather that together, you know, which is a nice effect. Unfortunately, this doesn't have it even through the remaster. So it's there, it's serviceable. It's a little above average for the time. As I said, it takes into consideration during gameplay subtitles as well. So a little better than what you saw for games from that time. So I'm going to say C+ for the deaf and hard of hearing. It has what you need. Unfortunately, it just doesn't have the modern amenities like we would want. And for the motor disabled, there's not much button remapping in this game, but not much is required. Final Fantasy X is a turn-based action, or a turn-based RPG, and you have a lot of time to strategize what you want to do. So if, you know, holding the buttons for your defense and things gets taxing on your hands, you can take a break. You're not timed to make your next move, anything like that. Very awesome. Yeah, it's very approachable for someone motor disabled. A lot of it's just one button presses, going through your inventory, one button presses, and as I said, button pressing during times of defense. But you have that time to rest in between. Very approachable. I'm going to say B+ for the motor disabled. This is a very approachable game with not a lot of button presses, not a lot of holds or anything like that. So yeah, pretty approachable. So that's the physical accessibility side of things, guys. Now, what about the moral Christian accessibility side of things? Well, this game got an ESRB rating of T for teen for fantasy violence, and it lives up to that, guys. It's typical RPG fare, typical Final Fantasy fare. You are going to have turn-based battles where you're using swords and different things, magic, to take down these multiple creatures and enemies. When they are defeated, they usually make some kind of a groan, and they disappear into like little balls of energy. So we don't have any blood or gore or anything like that to detract from the game. Sexual content, we do have a romantic relationship, but there's nothing shown. We have some shirtless men when they're playing a game called Blitzball in this game. And that's really it. Most of the characters are very appropriately dressed. Nothing to worry about there. Nothing more than what you'd see in a beach ball or swimming, things like that. But it is in the game. I wanted to let you know. As I said, also the magic is there. So if you have trouble with that as a Christian, it is there. Characters are going to be using magic and things back and forth. I don't see anything inherently evil about this. We don't have any like torturous scenes or anything like that where things get over the line for me, but I want to let you know it's there. Like I said, the violence is controlled. They do summon these creatures into battle, and some of them would look at them as gods, you know, as powerful beings or powerful creatures in this game, but nothing to where I see where it flirts with the line of blasphemy at all. There's no language in this game. There is no taking the Lord's name in vain in this game. and nothing blasphemous in my eyes. So, yeah, I'm just giving you my opinion as a preacher and as a Christian. As I always say, use your own discernment, guys, your knowledge of God's Word, the guidance that you get from the Holy Spirit, and the feelings that you have within your own heart to be the judge on whether you play these games or not. I just let you know what content is in the game so you can make an informed decision. If that helps you guys, please thumbs up this video to help me. Yeah, so overall, I think this is a very approachable game. There's not much to detract from it, so I'm going to give this game a B to a B+ for Christian approachability. I think it's very approachable. The storyline is literally the characters, a character named Titus, a biblical name, fighting against sin. The characters fight the evil that's sweeping the land, and the creatures and things in this game are literally referred to as sin. So how cool is that, guys, for a Christian takeaway? The evil that you fight in the game is named sin. We're fighting against sin. Truly awesome. I started a playthrough of this on the channel, and I wasn't sure. I didn't get a lot of likes on it or anything, so I wasn't sure if anybody wanted to continue seeing that. But if you would like to see Final Fantasy X, me pick up where I left off and kind of make a series out of this, or throw it in as an option for the free play party so we can play it once in a while, I will do that. Let me know with a thumbs up on this video, comment on this video. Every Wednesday on the community tab on YouTube, Poetically Christian Gamer, we vote on which games this blind preacher plays on Free Play Fridays, and we can definitely throw Final Fantasy on there, Final Fantasy X, and if it keeps winning the vote, we can keep playing it. So it's up to you guys. Let me know. Subscribe to the channel so you won't miss any of those posts or any of our videos. All right, with all that, there's our review of moral and our physical side of things. So I'm going to show you guys a little bit of gameplay. The subscribers always ask, what does the game look like, sound like, feel like, to determine whether it's something they want to play. So let's check out a little bit of Final Fantasy X here, guys. I'm going to turn up the sound so you can hear it real well, and then we'll get going. All right, we're going to go turn it up. All right, let's go. Let's do this. My favorite Final Fantasy game of all time, guys. I think this game is truly awesome. This remaster is cool. It changes the graphics just a little bit, not much. It pretty much sticks to the core Final Fantasy X that you all know and love. And it gives you the option for whether you want the modern, like, remix soundtrack or the OG. I went with the OG soundtrack. It's beautiful, guys. That beautiful, beautiful Final Fantasy X music. I think they did a good job kind of remastering this. Let me know in the comments as well, what was your favorite Final Fantasy game of all time? Beautiful soundtrack. Final Fantasy X. Or Final Fantasy X, as some know it. And here's our menu for when you're starting the game. We'll go ahead and continue where we were, just to show you the little sample. Alright, those classic sound effects, guys. Alright, we left off down in the caves. This is where we'll pick up the playthrough. I'm just going to show you guys a little bit of it so you can see what the gameplay and graphics look like and the sound. Oh, no. Well, he is a blitzball player, guys. He should know what to do in the water. Looks pretty good. Oh, that classic music, guys. As you see here, we got our enemies, our turn-based battles. You can see the layout here on the bottom right. And there's what happens when they get killed, defeated. They just disappear. Dun, dun. What? Uh-oh. Boss battle, boss battle. The boss battle music on this game is awesome. Sorry guys, I know I'm geeking out over it, but this is my favorite game in the series. Alright. Here we go. Ooh. Ruh-roh. Whoa.
I had made it out of the frying pan and into the freezer. I thought I was gonna die in this place.
Same guy's voice that does Ratchet from Ratchet and Clank, guys. And see, then we go back into our gameplay. And so I just wanted to I'll show you the menus here. This is when you're selecting things. So, you know, it's not as big as it could be, but it's not bad. The contrast that light on light makes it a little rougher than it needs to be, but not bad. So I hope this has helped you guys. If, like I said, if you'd like to see me continue where I left off, you can go check it out on the channel. It's in the blind gamer section in my playlist. I have Christian Gamer Blind Preacher Plays. It's in there, and it's in I started it. I call it Sin's Battle Part 1. So If you'd like to see me continue this on and want to throw it in as a choice for Free Play Fridays to vote on, let me know with a comment on this video. Thumbs up the video if you like Final Fantasy X and if this review helped you guys. We do live streams every Monday, Tuesday, and Fridays on the channel. And then we have Bible sermons and a new Christian review every Wednesday and Thursday. So literally 5 days a week, guys, we have something on this channel. If you don't want to miss anything that we do, all Christian friendly, all for faith and fun, all for God and gaming. Even the games that aren't Christian friendly, if they're on here, I make them Christian friendly to the best of my ability. You won't hear any swearing or have any crazy stuff, worldly stuff on here, guys. If that sounds like you, remember to subscribe to the YouTube channel to join the PC tribe. You'll be able to vote in our polls and be part of what we do here, guys. And love to have you and get to know you. Thumbs up the video to help us get godly content out to others. And if you're watching on Poetically Christian Gamer Twitch as well, you can hit the follow button to join us and be notified when we are live in the chat, guys. You can also join us in the chat on YouTube as we simulcast our live streams across both. I hope this has helped you. It's been another edition of Should Christians Play, the series where we go between the ratings of the ESRB to answer the questions: should a Christian play? And is this game accessible for me? And today, guys, the answer on Final Fantasy X, Final Fantasy X Remaster, is a yes from me. I love you. God loves you. And until the next one, blessed wishes.